Hi, everybody. It is, well, right now for me, it's November 30th. My name is Lyle Kozlov, Senior Support Engineering Manager, and this is the support group conversation. I have never used this feature of Zoom before, and I feel like I will probably mock it at some point, but it's kind of cool. But enough about Zoom, more about support. Since our last convo, we continued to add more folks. We currently have 96 members. We added 5 in the last 5 weeks, and we have a few more coming up. In particular, we're going to have a new support manager starting in AMER next week. I'm excited personally because she's going to report to me. But the other folks that we have that had started have already started to dig into stuff, and we're really excited to have them. So yeah, exciting things. I did want to take a look at the volume. So volume is down a little bit over the past 4 weeks. You see we're at 3122, down from 3659 last month. This is a consistent trend year over year. So once we start hitting holidays, our volume starts tapering off a little bit. And so you can see last year over on the left of the slide, the same thing happened. You know, October was up, November's down, December's going to be down again, we expect. So as a result, FRT and NRT, we expect those are going to go up, our first reply time and next reply time. And that gets held by the data. We'll talk about support satisfaction in a little bit. But if you see first reply time last week, 97.4, and trending up. Also next reply time last week, we're at 95.5, and also trending up. So US holidays definitely help. But I did want to draw attention to the fact that we actually, since our last group conversation on November 1st, we reduced the SLA in the LNR queue from 24 hours to 8 hours. And so this first reply time metric that I'm showing here is a combined metric. And that means that despite a large change in SLA, our team is still performing really well. And so yeah, congratulations to all of the hard work that the folks handling LNR tickets have done to make that happen. A couple of things that we're also working on right now is we're reorganizing the way that we handle first reply and next reply time breachers in a concept called support crew. We trialed this in EMEA a couple of months ago, and it had some really great results. So starting today, Monday, in AMER, we're actually starting to trial that here. And so we're anticipating that that's going to shape our first reply and next reply time. Obviously, we're looking to make sure that we're not just pushing work over to APAC, but we're excited to see kind of what is going to happen there. Another thing we're working on is ticket management training. And so we have a new group of engineers this quarter that are going to be taking on some of the training that Mike put together. And that's to help shape the customer experience, to help manage expectations, to make sure that we're following sort of a standard set of procedures as we talk with customers. And so excited to see the results of that as well. You'll see that SSAT has gone down a little bit. Last week was a little bit lower. We're evaluating exactly what is driving that. You can see the link over on the left. Quick look, there is fewer responses. So fewer tickets, fewer responses, which also means less potential accuracy. Like it means that the error rate for that bar goes up. So it could be that our SSAT's much lower. It could be that it's a little bit higher. But we're going to be taking a look at things that we can do to shape that particular metric in that work group. US Federal, you can take a look, but overall, I think that the SSAT speaks for itself and our first reply times speak for themselves. Both are at 100% for the past few weeks. My son has come in the room now, and I don't need your help, son. So, but this is going to make the video. And then there's a few other things that I wanted to draw your attention to. So over the past month, we made the SAS and self-managed problem types more consistent. We're also closing out our metrics analysis work group. This was something that we put together like just to figure out what do we do when metrics go below where we're comfortable. And so you'll see actually a couple slides back on slide 5, there was a yellow and red error bar. Those error bars are a result of sort of this work group. You can take a look in the handbook. I don't need to describe it all, but the specific thing that you should be aware of is that we're taking a look at specific hypotheses and resulting actions and documenting those. Like I mentioned before, we have another one going on for SSAT right now, taking a look specifically at what is driving the trends and what shaping actions we can take. We're continuing to roll out gitlab.com emergency support for all Silver Plus customers on gitlab.com. So you can take a look at the December rollout issue. There are, I think we're probably at about 40% of ARR represented with this next batch of customers, which is ahead of our target. And so I think we should be rolled out to 100% of GitLab.com customers by the end of the quarter. And then also, as I mentioned in our earlier part, we reduced the LNR SLA to 8 hours effective 2020, 11/01, in the first of the month, right after our last group conversation. So that's the main things that are happening in support. We talked about this last month. It actually did launch. So if you're escalating a ticket to support managers, things will look a little different. You probably noticed by now, I'm sure. But instead of being a purely Slack-driven workflow, we're now using GitLab Pages. And then those pages generate a GitLab issue. And then we have something that actually will then post to Slack. And so we can handle things within GitLab issues. We can still have the conversation in Slack for anything that's like really time sensitive. But it's going to really help us track exactly how many escalations get opened during the week. And we can see a lot more clearly everything that's going on when your customers need a little bit more attention. So that's it. I hope you will join tomorrow with some questions. I'll be there, and so will the rest of the team. So if you're watching this in the evening, have a good evening. If you're watching this in the morning, have a good rest of your day. If you're watching this at lunchtime, bon appetit.